Welcome to Rhode Island, where the bridges are bad. In fact, we ought to be concerned about almost 1 out of every 2 crossings. That's the gist of a new federal report that says nearly half of the state's bridges are structurally deficient or functionally obsolete. NBC 10's Katie Davis is live in Cranston now with more on that story. Katie?
Well, team, this report has a lot of bad news about bridges and also roads. I'm standing in front of Route 37 near Post Road, which is one of the sections of roadway listed in this report. And the bottom line is there is a long list of problems and not enough money to fix them. Ask almost any driver along this stretch of Route 3 in Coventry about the road, and you'll get an earful.
It's terrible. It's one of the worst roads in the state.
Turns out he's right. Route 3 between Arizona and Reservoir is number 1 on a new list of Rhode Island's roads in the worst condition. Are you surprised by that?
Not at all. It's been like that for how many years? They lay down the tar, and a week later they tear it right back up?
DOT Director Michael Lewis says he agrees with the new report, and the numbers aren't pretty. Rhode Island faces a $4.5 billion shortfall in transportation funds over the next 10 years. That means many roads rated in poor condition could stay that way.
It's horrendous. Besides the potholes and the traffic, it's a real bad stretch of highway up here.
Also in the report, 25 bridges that are desperately in need of repairs. Rhode Island received about $137 million in federal stimulus funds this year to help fix them. But that money is just a drop in the bucket.
But it was a one-time shot in the arm. It in no way begins to address the shortfall in funding.
Unlike some other states, Rhode Island has no capital funding system for road projects. Instead, the state primarily depends on federal money. But Rhode Island must match every federal dollar with 20 cents. And to do that, voters must approve a bond to borrow the money on the November ballot.
It is so critical that we receive that bond approval, because that is the only source of revenue that we have in the state.
And the DOT director says he does want to wean Rhode Island off its reliance on borrowing through those bonds, but that process could take years. And in the meantime, he says the best way to start making these repairs is to pass that bond on the November ballot. Live in Cranston, Katie Davis, NBC 10 News.